I'm ending this.
Daniel!
No! The agreement! I choose Emily! You will destroy everything!
Is it over?
Yes, we are free.
Then we'll start again together.
The sky is beautiful. Emily, promise me you won't run away tonight. Emily looked at Daniel and laughed nervously. Why would I run away? You said you are taking me to meet your family. Daniel didn't smile. That is what I said. His serious expression made Emily uncomfortable. Daniel was one of the richest men in the country. He owned hotels, shopping centers, construction companies, and luxury apartments. For 2 years, Emily had been his girlfriend, but there was one part of his life he had always kept hidden: his family. He rarely spoke about his parents or childhood. Whenever Emily asked to meet his relatives, he always found an excuse. Until that evening. Daniel drove Emily for nearly 3 hours before leaving the main highway and entering a narrow road surrounded by thick trees. Emily looked through the window. Where are we going? My family's old estate. A few minutes later, a huge black mansion appeared. Emily stared at it. The building was beautiful but frightening. Its windows were covered with iron bars, strange symbols were carved into the walls, and the garden was completely overgrown. Is this your family's house? Yes. Why does it look abandoned? Because it has been empty for years. Emily turned toward him. Then why did you bring me here? Daniel parked the car. Because tonight you deserve to know the truth. Inside, Emily noticed dozens of old portraits covering the walls. Daniel's grandfather, his great-grandfather, his father. Every man wore the same silver ring. Emily pointed to Daniel's finger. You have one too. Daniel quickly covered his hand. Don't worry about it. Suddenly, something crashed upstairs. Emily jumped. What was that? Probably an old window. Daniel took her hand. Come, I'll show you your room. That answer didn't convince her. Later that night, Emily couldn't sleep. At midnight, she heard footsteps outside her bedroom. Step, step, step. She opened the door. The hallway was empty. Then a woman's voice whispered, Emily. She froze. The voice came again. Emily. She followed it down the corridor until she reached a large wooden door with a silver lock. Just as she touched the handle, don't! Daniel appeared behind her. Emily screamed, Who was calling me? Nobody. I heard a woman. Daniel looked at the locked door. His face was pale. Why should you never open that door? Why? Daniel lowered his voice. Because that room contains the secret behind my family's wealth. The next morning, Emily met an elderly housekeeper named Margaret. Margaret looked frightened when she saw her. You need to leave this place before midnight. Emily stared at her. Why? Margaret looked around before whispering. Because your boyfriend brought you here for the family ritual. Emily's heart sank. What ritual? Margaret explained that Daniel's great-grandfather had been a poor businessman who desperately wanted wealth and power. According to the family story, he entered into a mysterious agreement. He became unbelievably wealthy, but the agreement came with one condition. Every male heir had to bring the person he loved most into the ritual house. The heir would then have to make a choice, choose the fortune or choose the person. If he chose the fortune, the loved one would be sacrificed. If he chose the loved one, the family fortune would disappear. Emily felt sick. Why would Daniel bring me here? Margaret's eyes filled with sadness. Because he is the heir. Immediately, Emily searched for Daniel. She found him in the library. You brought me here for a ritual. Daniel closed his eyes. I was afraid you would find out. Were you planning to sacrifice me? No. He stepped toward her. I would never hurt you. Then explain. Daniel finally told her the truth. His father had tried to reject the ritual years ago, but the family elders stopped him. Since then, Daniel had secretly searched for a way to end the agreement. I thought I could destroy the ritual without losing everything, he said, but I couldn't do it alone. Emily's voice trembled. Then why didn't you tell me? Because I was afraid you would leave." Before Emily could respond, the mansion doors suddenly slammed shut. Chief William, Daniel's uncle, entered with several family elders. William smiled. "Enough secrets." Daniel stood in front of Emily. "You won't touch her." William laughed. "It's too late." He pointed toward the ritual room. "Tonight, you will complete what your ancestors started." Daniel shook his head. "No." William's smile disappeared. "Then you will lose everything." Suddenly, Daniel's phone rang. His business manager was calling. "Sir, something impossible is happening. Your largest accounts have been frozen." Another call came. His properties were being transferred. Another, his business contracts were disappearing. Within minutes, Daniel's fortune began collapsing. William smiled. "Your family built that wealth through the ritual. You cannot keep it and refuse the price." Emily looked at Daniel. "Choose." Daniel stared at the woman he loved. Then he looked toward the ritual room. For years, he had believed money protected him. Now he understood that money had actually controlled him. Daniel removed the silver ring from his finger. "I choose Emily." William shouted, "Think carefully." "I have already." Daniel walked into the ritual room. On a stone table lay an ancient family book. He opened it. The final instruction was clear. When the heir chooses love over fortune, the agreement ends. Daniel tore the silver family ring in half. A violent wind swept through the mansion. The candles went out. The old portraits fell from the walls. The windows shattered. Chief William screamed as the silver rings worn by the elders cracked one after the other. Then everything became silent. The ritual was over. By sunrise, Daniel had lost almost everything. His companies were gone, his properties were gone, his luxury cars were gone, his billions had disappeared. But Emily was alive. Daniel expected her to leave him. Instead, she said, "You should have trusted me with the truth from the beginning." "I know," he replied. "I was afraid you would leave me." Emily looked at him. "And you nearly lost yourself instead." Months passed. Daniel started a small construction business and began rebuilding his life honestly. He was no longer surrounded by luxury, but he was happier. One evening, Daniel and Emily drove past the old ritual house. The mansion stood silent beneath the moonlight. Daniel looked at it and smiled. "I once thought that house was the source of my family's power." Emily held his hand. "What do you think now?" Daniel looked ahead. "It wasn't our treasure," he paused. "It was our prison." Lesson: never allow wealth to become more important than your values or the people you love. Money can disappear overnight, but integrity can help you rebuild. A fortune that costs you your conscience is not a blessing, it is a trap. If you enjoyed this story, like, comment, and subscribe for more powerful stories.